What's up, everybody? ArrgThePirate here, and today we're gonna play a little Nizai in the jungle. Now, I did get the skin that made him look like a guy, so I can quit calling him a girl, but let's go ahead and get into this game. Now, I'm gonna start out with my deck: Assassin's Blessing, Chalice of Healing, Aegis, and Warrior Tabby, or just Shoes. And then I'm gonna build into Warrior Tabby, Hasten Katana, Crusher, Wind Demon, Heartseeker, and Bloodforge. That's the kind of idea I'm going for, but of course, if there are other situations that arise, you need to work on those. If I want to go with more damage, I've always got something like Jordan's Wrath. If I want some anti-lifesteal, I've got something like Toxic Blade, or that Brawler's Beat Stick, or Hide of the Urchin if I just need some armor. And then, of course, I've got my wards and, you know, potions and things like that. Now, we do start out a little bit strange in this match, and this is the first match I've ever done like this. My solo laner started with me at yellow. We picked up our first camp, and then we picked up blue, and then went to lane to help him clear his lane. And although we did lose an entire lane for minions, or an entire wave for minions, you know, it seemed to work okay. Now, I'm actually going to rotate to mid, and me and Thoth are able to take out Zeus. Oh, you see that damage on Thoth? Holy moly, guys. But before we get too far into the gameplay, let's go over Nizai's kit. Righteous Spirit is Nizai's passive, and if you look just above my nameplate, I've currently got 20 stacks, and what that does is for every stack you have 0.5% crit chance, so at 20 stacks you have 10% crit, so this hero, he already gets crit, guys, and it works very well with him. Number 1 is Ring Toss. Nizai throws a ring, and it bounces several times, dealing damage and applying physical protection debuff for 3 seconds and slows for a second. Each hit also stacks a movement speed buff for Nizai, so really when you want to engage, you can throw this. It helps get your stacks up, speeds you up, and reduces the enemy's protections. Nizai's number 2 is an insane self buff, and it ignites him with the spirit of fighting, and it increases his attack speed, critical hit chance, and it also heals him. So depending on how many stacks you have, you gain 0.75% heal. So at 20 stacks, you'll get a 15% heal, and then your attack speed is increased 15, 25, 35, 45, 55, depending on how it's upgraded, and your critical hit chance is increased by 15%. So you can really, that's 25% crit chance, and you don't really need a whole lot of crit chance with Nizai since it kind of is inherent. Nizai's number 3 is a stun. Now, what you do is you throw your sash out, and you stun the target and pull yourself towards them, and when you hit that target, you do a ton of damage, and this attack can also critically hit. So if you're doing a great job of getting your stacks up, you know, you want to throw that ring out, hit them with your sash, and then you can follow that up with your ultimate and just delete people. And speaking of ultimate, his last ability, number 4, is Wheels of Fire. Nizai dashes forward and if he hits an enemy god, he knocks them skyward for 4 seconds, unleashing a 3-hit combo. Now, this ability hits one initial time upon the knockup, so when you first hit the enemy, and then you get to hit 3 times while in the air, and if you click whenever it says critical strike, you will get critical strikes while in the air. A 5th time, you hit them just without a critical strike in the air, and then when you land, you hit them for a 6th time, and it damages all enemies around in a small little AoE. This, you can see it right there. It does tons of damage, guys. This Nizai is the ideal burst damage dealer. And he's so far, he's definitely my favorite hero, even though, you know, he's kind of girly. Alright, enough about his kit, let's get into the gameplay. Now, I'm just kind of doing my jungle thing, rotating around, making sure we're getting kills, and, you know, just securing lanes, helping my team push. You see, I actually go in on this Raw right here. He ends up immuning out of my 3. That's kind of why I jumped like that. Your 3 only hits gods, you can't hit, you know, anything else with it. So, that's what that was. He aegis that, and, you know, hey, no big deal. And from here, we're just going to kind of continue to farm. I am pretty low on mana, and one thing about Nizai, in the first early parts of the game, you are pretty mana hungry. So you could go with something like that Jordan's Wrath or Joden's Wrath, whatever the name of it is, to have some mana sustain, but really in the later stages of the game, I really don't feel that mana is all that big of a deal. Now I'm going to go ahead and secure my yellow buff, and then I'm going to start building into that Hastened Katana. Nisa kind of has a weird way of attacking. It seems very slow, but the first, I believe you hit 3 times, and on your 4th hit, it's a giant cleave damage, and it damages just everybody. And you see here, we're able to rotate over. I'm going to go ahead and end up ulting this Thanatos. We're able to take him out. Oh, crazy amounts of damage. And, you know, that was a great fight. I'm going to go ahead and stay in on this tower. You know, even though I don't have just a ton of escape, that's quite alright. I want to try to down this tower as much as I can. But, you know, once their wave shows up and I kind of see my team peel off there, I'm going to go ahead and back out. You know, we did take 2 of their heroes, or 2 of their gods down, so it was a good time to actually try to get a little poke on that tower. Now, I am going to drop the blue buff for my solo laner, that way he can get into lane quickly, and, you know, I'm sure he's going to have a counter push coming up because, again, we did take 2 of them out. It's just nice to have a jungler that's, you know, dropping your buffs for you. It makes it a little easier for you. Even though you might miss a little bit of farm, I think being able to pick that buff up and get into lane or something like that is absolutely huge. Now, I haven't spent a whole lot of time in my duo lane, but they're pushed up very far, so I'm just going to kind of leave that, and I'm going to head over to my solo lane. Now, I make a critical mistake with my kit here. Instead of starting out with my 1, I should really have used my 1 to stack up that crit chance, and that might have been enough to actually take out Tyr, or, you know, it might have been enough to get quite a bit of damage, or, you know, actually make him back off. But he probably will be able to heal through this. You know, that was just a bad kit rotation. You really want to start out with that 1. Not only will you get poke on the enemy, but that stacks up that passive, and that passive is absolutely huge with Nisa's kit. Now, I have no idea what Thoth did to do to survive that. That Thanatos, oh man, I bet he's salty. But hey, he ends up taking him out, you know, GG. And we end up picking up our yellow, and I'm actually going to head to mid lane and just kind of cover that lane while Thanatos, or while Thoth gets in lane and, you know, kind of heals up. Now, one thing I really love about Nisa's kit is his 3 is that stun, as well as his ultimate. You know, it's a 4-second stun, and that's huge. It allows your team to catch up in that distance. And you see here, we're going to go in onto this Zeus, and that was enough time for our Thoth to catch up and secure that kill. Now, I have gotten quite a few assists this game, but that's quite alright. I've never been the type of person to say, oh, you know, you're stealing my kills. You know, I think if the mid laner is getting fed, that's absolutely huge, because he's going to be a huge part of our damage in that later game, and I definitely want to see him get fed. And I'm getting assist, you know, I'm still getting farm from that. So really, you know, as long as someone's securing that kill, it's quite alright. Now, after we pick up Gold Fury, we're actually going to head to the duo lane. There's a huge team presence, and, you know, I really would have liked to get my ult onto the ADC, but that's quite alright. I'm going to take their support out of this fight, and, you know, we're able to get quite a bit of damage on him. Thoth is able to secure the kill onto the ADC, and then manages to get the support as well. Oh, that's a great play. I need a back, though. You know, I'm pretty low. Let's go ahead and just back, and I'm feeling pretty confident in this match. I don't have to deal with a whole lot of lifesteal, things like that, so I'm going to continue to build more damage. Now, from here, I'm going to head to the solo lane. You can see there's quite a bit enemy presence. Fortunately, our solo lane was able to execute one of the enemies, and I'm just going to head in and try to get work done. You know, again, I really need to start using that 1 before I engage, but I wanted to get in quickly. I was thinking maybe we could wrap that kill up, but quite alright. You know, I had my ultimate down already. It's really not that big of a deal. We chase them off, and we're actually able to take out that tower. You know, that was a huge play, and our solo laner's just tearing it up over there. Now, we're still going around doing our jungle thing, you know, continue to farm, and as long as you're healthy, you know, as long as you're healthy, there's always something to do in the jungle. The jungle camps spawn in so quickly, and unfortunately, before we got to really get into this match, the enemy team surrendered. So, hey, you know, we had a very successful match. We ended up being 1-0-6. You know, we were on fire, guys. Nizaw's so much fun. Well, that's gonna wrap it up for this Nizaw video. He is by far my favorite god so far, and I've played him a ton. I'm just not very good with him. But if y'all did enjoy, show me some love, leave me a comment, think about subscribing, add me on Smite, guys. I'd love to play with y'all, and as always, I'll see y'all in the next video.